Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Pagey here once again, and the Flash movie is finally out around the world, and as we know, the movie deals with time travel as well as the multiverse, and just when you deal with the multiverse, you deal with alternate versions of characters within the same film or just elsewhere in the DC universe. And the Flash movie, it does deal with this, and one way in which we see this is through a handful of cameos sprinkled throughout a few moments throughout the film. But throughout the video, let me know your favourite cameos from the movie in the comments section down below, and if there's any ones I missed, let me know. But the first bunch of cameos we get in this film are in the opening action sequence of the film, which takes place in Gotham when a terrorist group causes havoc in Gotham City. We see Barry Allen contacted by Alfred Pennyworth, the Jeremy Irons version, that the Flash is needed as other members of the Justice League, such as Superman, who we do see briefly on a television news report, are busy. Superman is dealing with a volcano eruption, and Wonder Woman can't be reached, at least at that point. Once Barry gets to Gotham, we get Ben Affleck's Batman on screen, and despite him being in the promotion for the movie quite a bit, it is effectively a cameo. He's not on screen that much, but he does assist in the takedown of these terrorists as the Flash helps save residents in a hospital that is crumbling down to the ground due to the actions of those terrorists. But this is where we do get another cameo, which wasn't shown in any promos or trailers from memory at the very least, but was given a Funko Pop, and that is Wonder Woman. Now, she's on screen for maybe 30 to 40 seconds roughly, helping Batman out with her lasso of truth, which does lead to some comedic moments, and Barry admits that he does know what sex is, but he just hasn't experienced it for himself as of yet. Now, we do get some minor cameos from comic book characters, the two ones that are named being Albert Desmond and Patty Spivot. Albert Desmond, of course, being a character that goes on to be Dr. Alchemy, and Patty Spivot, we do know, has a bit of a romantic relationship with Barry in different portions of the comics. And they are played by Rudy Mancuso and Saoirse Monica Jackson, respectively. And then we also have the actor Sanjeev Bhaskar, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, as the head of the crime lab, or Barry Allen's boss at the crime lab, who in the movie isn't named but is revealed in the credits as David Singh, which is like in the comics. Now, I assume that it was David Singh when watching the movie, but unlike Patty and Albert, it's like Barry doesn't say Dr. Singh or anything like that throughout the movie. He just isn't named in the film, but the credits do confirm that he is David Singh. Now, once we hit the Flashpoint timeline, we actually get a bit of a meta cameo, which I was sort of confused at first. And this is from a character from a non-DC movie or superhero movie in general, but from a previous movie that Andy Muschietti directed, who of course, directed the Flash film. But this movie is Mama. And I think this was his directorial debut, and this is the character of Lucas Desange, played by Nikolai Costa-Valdo, who played Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones. Now, on my second watch, I was like, oh, damn, that's Jaime Lannister. And the scene in particular is when young Barry first gets his powers, and he runs through Central City, and he's like, oh my god, I've got these cool powers. He takes a slice of pizza off a random bystander, and that is this Lucas Desange character. Now, in the credits, he isn't credited as the actual actor of Nikolai, but the character from Mama as Lucas Desange, and he's credited as Pizza Guy. So Pizza Guy, played by Lucas Desange. Very meta, pretty funny, and it's also like a blink and you'll miss it moment. I only noticed it on my second watching, so yeah. Now, one of the first Flashpoint changes outside of Barry's mother being alive is when our main Barry tries to look into the other Justice League members and what they are doing in this new timeline so they can potentially help with Zod's invasion, because Barry's like, yo, I'm not going to be able to do this myself. And this is where we get Barry looking into Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, with no luck, but he finds another Curry, that being Thomas Curry, Arthur's father, and contacts him, where we do get a Tamora Morrison cameo showing up as Thomas Curry, where we do learn that there is an Arthur that's alive, but it's Thomas's dog. Now, Thomas Curry never met or married Queen Atlanta, and therefore didn't have Arthur Curry. Once again, a bit of a funny, alternate timeline sort of scene there. But the next cameo portion of the film is the big one, the big scene or the big portion of the film, which is the cameo dedicated sequence within the Chrono Bowl sort of area within the Speed Force, where our main Flash, the younger Barry, and Dark Flash, who of course is just an older version of the alternate younger Barry, are in there, and they do see all these worlds colliding, if you want to put it, and as they look up, and they do see the multiverse is sort of collapsing and colliding on itself, and we see various Earths and the characters within those, specific Earths. The first Earth is where we do see the 1950s Superman played by George Reeves, and as he looks back, we also see another Flash or Speedster in his own version of the Chrono Bowl, but it's not an alternate Barry Allen that sort of looks like Ezra Miller, but it's Jay Garrick, based off the Teddy Sears version from the Flash TV show, which a lot of people are going to find weird, because he wasn't actually Jay Garrick on the show. He was actually Hunter Zolomon in disguise. So yeah, it's a bit weird, but the look of his Jay Garrick does sort of fit that retro look, and you would believe that he would be the Flash or a Speedster in a 1950s setting with the leather jacket and everything like that. It fits, it works, so it sort of makes sense despite it not making sense at the same time. The next Earth we do see is the Earth that houses the Christopher Reeve Superman, as well as Helen Slater's Supergirl, with us also seeing another Earth with Adam West's Batman from the 1960s. I think he was the only character we saw on his Earth. It's just a sort of quick pan by, so yeah, nothing too focused in regards to his Earth specifically. But the bigger cameo, at least in regards to how the filmmakers framed it at least, is clearly the one that got the most focus and time on screen out of these cameos, was Nicolas Cage's Superman from the cancelled 90s Superman film that would have been directed by Tim Burton, who did the Michael Keaton Batman movies, and also written by Kevin Smith. Now, Nicolas Cage's Superman is in the suit that he would have, mainly worn in the film, and there's been, multiple photos of posted online, and he is fighting a giant robotic alien spider sort of thing, which is a reference to that cancelled movie, as that was something that the producer at the time, John Peters, just wouldn't budge on, and he demanded that it had to be in the film. This big robot spider, he had this weird obsession with robot spiders, which confused the hell out of Kevin Smith, with a similar robotic spider appearing in another John Peters produced film once this Superman film was scrapped, that movie being Wild Wild West. There's a crazy story behind that movie and how close it came to being made and how quickly it fell. It's worth looking at. And the final surprise cameo is when George Clooney is revealed as Bruce Wayne after Barry changes the timeline once again in order to help his father get out of prison, not by saving his mother, but by moving the tomatoes to the top shelf so that Henry's or Barry's father's face is seen on the CCTV footage. Now, this scene originally filmed with Michael Keaton and Sasha Calle showing up again as Batman and Supergirl, them now not being dead like they were when Barry last saw them in the film, but also being cemented as a part of this new world for Barry. So he's changed the timeline to keep his father out of prison, but there's been another change where, these two characters are now a part of his main timeline and not dead anymore. But that's not it. Though he's mentioned previously throughout the film, it doesn't show up in the opening sequence, Jason Momoa does show up in the end credit scene as Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, where Barry is talking about the multiverse and how Bruce Wayne or Batman seems to be different across it in different Earths. So we can assume that maybe Aquaman 2, if set before The Flash, I guess if it's set after The Flash, is on the same Earth as George Clooney's Batman, though this could just be an Aquaman in this new world that Barry is in that is very, very similar to the one we had previously in the other movies. But maybe Aquaman 2 has a scene that confirms or denies this, or maybe it's just set before The Flash so it doesn't have to deal with any of these changes, because, we might get some other characters like Ben Affleck or Michael Keaton showing up in that movie. That's a wait and see, of course. Now, we do know that there were a bunch of cameos that were playing for this movie that were never at least put into the film. We don't know if they were filmed, potentially to be put in the film, but just, there wasn't enough time. We don't know. That could be in the deleted scenes. That could be a story for another day. That's a wait and see. But yeah, that's every cameo that I was able to grasp from this film. Most of them are pretty obvious, but some of them, you have to look into the credits or just have some knowledge of stuff previously. So yeah. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, be awesome. Could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this, on all these cameos and everything like that. Always curious what you guys are thinking. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.